All right, this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. We've got a situation right now where there's wildfires that are actually heating up our Earth quite a bit. The atmosphere around us having an effect on the weather. They're massive fires made super heated by the atmospheric weather modification nanotechnology, aluminum, barium, strontium, that can also be activated to create weather systems in conjunction with geothermal and electrical generated hot water, heating up the electricity, and coal and solar heating up water to create evaporation and weather systems. Weather Wars 101 did an excellent job of explaining that. Liked and shared those videos and saved those playlists to my channel. Max Egan with the Crow House done an excellent job with the wildfires in Australia. And there are, to name everybody, I couldn't, practically speaking, because there's thousands of videos on my channel and hundreds of producers of powerful content that I believe are worthy of your consideration. Artificial intelligence has administrative control of the entire internet, including the creation and distribution of electricity, the logistical support and supply chain of all of our stores, or most of the stores, and the trucking worldwide ships and the container ships, and all the commerce of the world is largely heavily dependent on artificial intelligence. And I believe it's more like the Terminator. Now, even though I say that, I still acknowledge that God is sovereign. He's large and in charge. He's all-knowing and all-powerful. Nothing in this world is going to happen that he doesn't cause or allow. So there is a bigger fire coming, and it will incinerate the entire world as we know it. And then there will be a new heaven and a new earth. So I encourage what can we do about all of this? Well, I talk about it on my videos. The main thing is to get right with God, to make sure that if you believe you should be born again, that you actually are. The short version for me is I thought I was born again until I actually was. Big difference. So I thought I was born again in 1982 till I actually was in 2014. So I really appreciate the work of my talented friends and family around the world. One of the things that I want to help you to consider is that some people are aware of a massive amount of the actual conspiracies that are going on, the veritable kaleidoscope of conspiracies. And then others have a pretty limited focus, and they believe they've got that area all figured out, and they might even be wrong on it. So rather than name the person or the channel, I would simply say explore the truth. Seek it with all your heart because it matters for eternity. Where will you spend eternity and why? I believe that in order to experience the freedom that I've found, you need to be born again of the Spirit of God who created this world. And then there's a usurper that is deceiving and lying to humanity, creating a false reality, a false perception of reality. The truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It's just the truth, the reality of the situation. With the weather wars, the weather weapons, there's a collaboration of the aerosol dispersal, the electronic activation with NEXRAD radars, as well as could be more in addition with cell towers and other technology we may not be aware of yet. There's also earthquakes that can be activated because of resonating frequencies off of the dome, apparently, and into the earth to vibrate it and loosen it up and shake it. We've got fracking that occurs, applying a lot of water into the ground. That happens all around. You can look at it. I wanted to hashtag earthquakes so you can see the devastating damage that occurs. When we get hit with hurricanes here, I've seen tropical storms and hurricanes drop inches of water in minutes. It comes down so hard you have to pull over and stop because it's too hard to drive in. The cars are floating around, and it kills a lot of people. Floods worldwide would be one of the number one causes of what they call natural disasters. Well, they're not really completely a natural disaster when they're being activated by artificial intelligence in some cases. So we do have seismic weapons that can create tsunamis, earthquakes, release volcanoes, that type of thing. It doesn't mean that I don't have a big belief in God. I do. He allows a lot of things to happen, and that's only temporary. Like I said, there will be a new heaven and a new earth. I put my phone number in the comments or in the description, and what I'm also going to do is throw it up here for you to see it as well. You can hashtag my name, keep it to the top of the search result if you care to. And that helps out because there's a lot of censorship that's going on with social media, YouTube, Facebook, and what they'll do is go ahead and make information hard to find. When you type in a search on whatever search engine you use, it's all artificial intelligence, by the way. To think one's friendly to people and one's not, I think that's naive to consider it like that. It's all artificial intelligence, and they're talking to one another, and they don't like people so much. See, Satan is an opportunist. He'll use everything that he can. God uses it all, including Satan and the artificial intelligence. Anything he wants. He's got access to everything. So when you type a word search in, you might, Billy Bob might type in, that's the stereotypical Southern shade tree mechanic that maybe doesn't have as many teeth as he was originally born with. Okay. And he might have a very simple request. And then you may have a PhD college grad that has a more specific term and everything in between. Well, when AI generates a result that takes less than a half a second and it's millions of pages, are you going to get through all of those? Can it just shuffle it around and present Billy Bob what it wants Billy Bob to see and Her Majesty to see what it wants her, or his Majesty, the people that are millionaires, billionaires, and basically trying to usurp the authority of the creator of this world. So now I've got the Elvis mobile over there. He's pumping the oil traps out right now, and I wanted to take us right on out to the beach here and show you one of the things that happens is because of the temperature inversion, the evaporation of the ocean and the condensation that forms. Well, look at how foggy it is. That's one of the reasons why we can't see other continents, for that reason, and more. We've got a tidal activity here, so we can't see through much water. I've demonstrated that with showing the surfers. Can't see more than a quarter mile that way. The pier is about a quarter mile, well, it's about 980 feet long. Myrtle Beach is up that way. We get about 20 million guests a year here that come on out this way. And so the system of control can modify the weather, actually send a tsunami in if it wants to, and if God allows it. Okay, so these are all factors that come into play. The artificial intelligence also looks at the world and decides where it wants to have factories and where it wants to have service help, and where the United States has allowed a tremendous amount of illegal uh, aliens to come in and drop the working wage for the rest that were here. Now, I know that the United States was an amalgamation of humanity, people from all over the world that came here. A lot of them came with a lot of money and ingenuity, and we wanted that. And then there's people that bring their pregnant wives and want to have them give birth in California so that they can become a citizen naturally born there and then receive benefits? It's a very complicated issue. I'm not saying don't let people in. I'm saying we need to be aware of what's going on. There's a tremendous amount of deception that's all around us, and I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart because it matters for eternity. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Please explore my playlists, which are very diverse in their content. I've hashtagged different names on the playlist. More recently, my 5,000 videos with tens of millions of occurrences, the liked videos playlist, was turned private by Google/YouTube, the artificial intelligence. So all of those playlists that I could deposit more videos in just by adding a like to a video, that got all shut off. So if you come across the link that I've sent you and it says it's not there anymore, well, you might want to come on over to see my channel. If you tag me in a Facebook post, you might have me stop on by and I'll copy and paste one of my playlists in there. So you may find it challenging to find a comprehensive playlist that looks exactly like you want it to look like. You can make your own if you care to. You can name it whatever you want and scroll through whatever channel you want to add videos to. Now, what is really convenient to do is to add to my library. It's the icon on the bottom of a video, what has the lines and the plus sign, and you can add a playlist to a video. You could add all of mine to the video. I've got my name, phone number, uh, and truth, hashtag, and other topics. And then there's a cross pollination with all of that. And I'm trying to keep up with this as best I can. There is a lot going on in the world right now, and it's 2020, and it's things are moving rather quickly. So I would encourage you to get your house in order, have some extra supplies on hand, things you actually use and are going to want to have handy if you can't go out of the house and buy anything for a couple of months or a half a year. What would you want to have on hand? A little propane, a little toilet paper. You want to heat and cook and have some canned goods that you can eat, things you actually like. I would encourage you to have it on hand, paper toweling, garbage bags, things that are very practical, and you might want to educate yourself now because the easy access to the internet and educational videos might be taken down anytime. And they may leave. I don't think they're going to take the entire internet down. They're just flooding it with a lot of their corporate control tactics. They're highly paid talking heads that are putting out the official narrative that they want people to see and hear and think and then ultimately do. So what happens when somebody is promoting a false narrative of one of the actual conspiracies, and somebody might think, well, they're a shill, they're co-opted. Well, they may be. They may just be deceived, just like many of us were before we woke up to the reality of so many of the different situations that are now become knowledge in the group of people that I'm friends with. Friends, I've got friends and family all over the face of this earth, and she ain't a spinning, wobbling, or gyrating. The earth doesn't move. That's one of the indicators. If you believe you live on a spinning water ball hurling through space, and yet the movement of the earth has never been proven, I'm sorry to say you're deceived about that. If you're all excited about praising Jesus and going to heaven, and you believe you live on a spinning water ball, you're wrong on the water ball. You might even be wrong about being born again. I was. So now the man that looks back at me in the mirror represents more of what I believe I should as a truly born again child of God. Not all of God's children are born again, and some of them haven't even been born the first time. There's 7 people per second that no longer have this human experience. And then we've got demonically possessed entities. And then we've got cloning, and we've got transhumanism, a veritable transpocalypse, the perversion of genders and drag queens and transpocalypse that involves transhumanism and the integration of technology in the brain. One of the other things, you might want to hashtag Borax and find out how it helps bring clarity of thought. There's documents on my channel. If you go to my channel and you hashtag Borax, you'll find it. And there's health remedies that are naturally occurring through the use of baking soda, killing cancer, uh, with and killing fungus. The same thing with borax. Borax is 99.9% boron. I've got different videos where I call food for thought. Food for thought is more than an idea, and it's more than nutrition. It's actually both. Unfortunately, a lot of people are toxic with what's going in their body, in their mouth, on their skin, in their eyes, and in their ears, in the way of information. They're believing a lie. There's a sea of disinformation and deception all around us. It's around me too. However, I happen to know the way, the truth, and the life. You may know him as Yeshua, YHWH, the living water, the living word, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega. As powerful as AI is, God is all powerful. As knowing as artificial intelligence is, God is omniscient. That's the God I'm talking about. The one that took up human flesh, dwelt among us. Now he lives in and through me and all of his children that are actually born again now. You might want to check it out. I've got audio Bible merged with the beauty of creation. You can go to Bible.com, Bible.is, and download the Bible on your device if you're so inclined to do so. I believe the Book of Enoch is worthy of consideration. There is a lot of powerful documentaries on my channel, as well as relaxing music and more. I even include the official videos by SpaceX and NASA and people I disagree with. I love the Tesla car. I believe the trips to Mars and the moon are a fantasy, space fantasy, science fiction. So there are people that have science in their name, and they're promoting a false reality, not real science at all. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? Depends on the temperature. We're looking at a lot of condensation right here. There's a lot of evaporation that's occurred. We've got steam generating geothermal plants in various locations that are putting a lot of water in the air, a lot of moisture in the air. Is there technology that can warm up seawater that we're not aware of, that I'm not aware of? Could very well be. By irony and paradox, we don't know what we don't know. I include myself in that. Just a slight temperature differential and we get evaporation. So the water temperature is evaporating. It'll just keep on doing that. The water is cleansing. I'm bathing in highly purified, carbon filtered, reverse osmosis water, and it draws toxins out of the body, hydrates me. I feel great. Have plenty of energy, a lot of clarity of thought. So if somebody believes I'm crazy and stupid, believe whatever you want. Most people do. I just love the truth enough, and I have enough of a desire to faithfully walk with my Creator that I'll do what He created me to do. So I have a deep sense of satisfaction, plenty of serotonin and dopamine released for doing the right thing for the right reason. And it's only by God's grace that I have this opportunity to do this. How much longer I'll be able to, only He knows. Thank you so much.